What's good, everyone? Welcome to another reading. This is going to be on wisdom. I don't think there's much of an introduction needed. Just going to be some general wisdom for you, hopefully. Put a spark into your day, give you some light, give you some energy, give you some wisdom, essentially. So, as always, pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Pause the video if you need to, and I'll get stuck into pile number 1s. Alright, pile number 1's wisdom. Sorry for any background noise getting picked up. The reading. Okay. What do you see? What do you feel? Part number 1's. This is wisdom. What do you see and what do you feel before I give my 2 cents? I needed like an incredible amount of focus for this reading. And I don't know, maybe this is, can't pay attention to this ramble. Maybe something in this. Like, spirit today wasn't allowing me just to draw any old character. As you can see from this drawing, there's kind of features here. There's features in this drawing. Quite select features. and I'm gonna run through these for you. So, obviously, these may not apply to you. I'm always have um, some amount of, I don't know if it's empathy for like my male listeners, because I always found on like one of the reasons why I'm doing these readings is to put a bit of diversity into the kind of YouTube world of intuition. Um, it could be very much more diverse now when you look into the world of intuition and spirituality. But at least when I first started watching YouTube videos, most definitely with tarot, there wasn't much out there in terms of people like me, guys like me. So when I'm doing my readings, I'm always cautious of that. For example, if I was to be watching this video myself, of course there's going to be a load of feminines who relate to this reading. But for the dude like me who's watching it, how can you possibly tap into this energy and not feel kind of left out in the reading? As you well know, there's some readings where there's just a male figure and that's just what it is. But I'm always aware of that, and maybe like I said, pay attention to the ramble, because I feel like this is maybe part of your wisdom. I'm almost getting, to be honest, after that thinking out loud process, just the wisdom that I got from that personally was that, sometimes sometimes diversity isn't in what you're visually representing. It's how you kind of represent it or how you present it. And I don't know how to kind of explain that simply for people listening. You might have caught what I was trying to say there, but it's like, I don't know, to really, 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 really narrow it down, it would be I'm not sure if I'm getting it quite here. Well, it's called wisdom, this reading, so I couldn't have expected it to be easy. But kind of what I'm getting at is that let's keep it to art for this example, because we're kind of expressing art right now. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is when you know the artist, you know kind of that the intentions appear. So everything, or at least the intentions are open-minded. So therefore, everything that reader does, or that artist does, from then on, you kind of have it in. You kind of paint that message in the way that it's open for everyone, because that's how the artist from day one has expressed himself. The artist never said these readings are just for X, these readings are just for Y, these readings are just for Z. My long-term watchers are going to know what I did there. Shout out to y'all. The wisdom just oozing. So kind of that is the point. Like, sometimes when you can build something from the foundation of being diverse, I could draw women, for example, like this every single time for the rest of my illustrative days. But people who have grounded in the type of person I am know that my intentions are pure. And I hope that is conveyed here on this channel. I have certain opinions on, you know, gender and male and female dynamics, which I'm sure will rub some people up the wrong way. You know, I'm quite opinionated in these realms, you know. But underneath it all, know my intentions are pure. I definitely don't have any hate towards any gender title these days, or ethnicity, or race, or etc. etc. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, and I really do mean that. I feel like that's somewhat rare these days. I don't even have any like malice towards different political views. I really don't. I don't know, that's maybe just the way that I am, I don't know, but I tend to see fuckery in everything, to be honest. So I feel like, part ones, that's kind of your wisdom for today, is that when you set things up on a foundation which is authentic and pure, you don't have to worry about almost how it's perceived, because, you know, it's that old saying of saying staying true to who you are, kind of. It's kind of thrown around without much substance these days. But when you unpack that, like, honestly, you know, there's huge wisdom in that, like staying true to who you are, you know. So I feel like that's your wisdom, pole number one. I hope it was something for you to take away, think about, evaluating yourself. You might have a brand or business yourself, and you know, I'm getting the like, I don't know why I'm getting this image. Someone might be going through this. It's like I'm almost getting I don't know why, but I'm getting like a white person, a white female coming into my mind for some reason. And I'm almost getting like this person being in the news or something for people claiming that she's racist. And it's kind of linking to this reading, because it's like everything that this person's brand or identity stands for is not that. Like, the proof isn't in what has been said in the news that day. The proof is in actually what she stands for. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to people. You know, like, for example, when you see a celebrity, let's maybe take it off whoever's listening to this, because I feel like that is someone out there for some reason. Let's just say celebrities in general. You know, sometimes you see in the news that someone ends up being like a paedophile, and it's like, it is what it is. Like, damn, that was a shocker. They were a bit kind of messed up to begin with. And then there's other bits of news that come out. Let's say X, Y, and Z did this. And then it kind of almost reminds me a little bit of, and I'm not 100% sure about the insides, like the inner workings of that Johnny Depp situation, which happened probably years ago now. I can't really remember. But then there's other situations where someone tries to slander someone, and a group of people kind of stand up and go, wait a minute, that ain't what that person's about. I've had proof day in, day out that that person isn't like that actually. This is what this reading's about. That's what happens at a grander scale. But, for your everyday person, this message is just that kind of when you stand on who you are, and if that who you are is kind of a decent person, that carries a lot of weight. And when it's done correctly, that truth of who you are can actually backfire on the person trying to prove you're something that you're not. So this is actually really quite a beautiful message coming through, actually. Yeah, it's a beautiful message coming through. And shout out to anyone who's possibly going through anything like that, for that energy to come through. Just keep it moving, I think, is the word. So, or the phrase. Without this reading going on for too long, there's just a few things that I wanted to point out here. I couldn't actually draw it correctly, but I did have something come through in this person's hands. It's like an offering. So this wisdom you're going to have to dissect yourself, pile number ones, because we're going to be here all day. But I'm going to kind of reel off a few clues that came through on this drawing. Now, these may just be clues. Let me just close this curtain a little bit. Too much light coming in. These might just be clues and confirmations. So, for example, if someone just saw this drawing, they're going to go, that's me. Or I know who this is, who they're talking about. Because it visually represents them. And then other people, it's going to be a little bit more of a dissection for that. Because these are talking about features, not necessarily visual representations of what you look like by ones. So I saw like an arrow in this person's hands, like an arrow that an archer uses. That's clue one, take that for what it is. This reminded me a little bit of Egyptians. You know when the Egyptians, hieroglyphics, when they show the Egyptians on the walls, only that this character is not from that time. So much so, actually, that this kind of dress, a tightly fitted dress that I was seeing on this character was wearing, it reminded me of like, I don't even know what these things are called, but it was like glittery. This actually represents like a glittery dress, like when you're going out on a night out. This feminine had like a tight going out dress on. So maybe nightlife means something here. The hair, obviously extremely curly, could be of like black origins or at least African heritage. Maybe not, but there's definitely curly afro-y hair going on. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for like things, and dissect that for however it seems, however it resonates, basically. And yeah, just the general vibe of this, I would say that it was kind of calm because it was entering some form of offering. Why would you, maybe just to leave you on this part number ones, why would you offer an arrow? Arrow. Why would you offer an arrow? Reminds me a little bit of those movies when, you know, when there's that hero who has to go and slay the beast, but it has to be slayed with this specific weapon. You know, it's like only with this arrow can you kill the seven-headed beast. On that note, part number ones. I'm gonna leave you to it. It has that vibe. It has the vibe as well. Part number ones. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Okay, pile number 2 is I'm gonna have a little coffee sip. I was dying for this coffee sip. I remember the days where I didn't even drink coffee. Pile number 2 is, gosh, I don't know how I did it. Absolute sucker for coffee now. Okay, wisdom. Pile number 2 is, I feel like my pile number 2s are very smart. Energy's coming through. Excuse me. What the hell? I just got a download. I was looking for like a new suitcase today. I haven't got around to buying it yet, but I was gonna treat myself to this brand called Samsonite, which is like one of the, I'm giving them free promotion here, but they're really like high quality suitcases. And there were days where let's call a spade, like I couldn't even think of affording a suitcase that expensive. But I was just eyeing them up today, like, which one do I even like? Part 2s, I've gone through phases in my life that would probably make you cry. I've been that broke. But I guess we're here now. Should have made her a little bit taller. She's a little bit top heavy, but I was running out of space on the page. But it's all good. Because we trust in spirit. Money to be higher. So something with a suitcase there coming through. Don't know why. Suitcase. Because that was very personal. It's almost a little bit cringy. I don't really like talking about myself. Well, I do love talking about myself, and I'm an Aries, and I'm not gonna lie to you. But what I mean by that is I like talking about myself when I know directly how it's gonna give the audience knowledge, right? Like I like talking about myself in order to teach, basically. But I don't know. I felt a little bit weird talking about that because it was just personal, and I couldn't really see why Spirit wanted me to share that. Because in my Aries head, I'm like, that's none of their business. Don't know, maybe that's just revealing some of my shadow. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just expressing some of my vulnerabilities here. Part number 2 is bear with me. Don't know, maybe it's like revealing kind of trust issues too. You can maybe relate to that. Guess there came a point in my life where I stopped talking about myself due to kind of the reactions that I might have got. If that's just jealousy or judgment. And as I say judgment, I'm kind of, Spirit just slaps me around the face to say, this is it. This is what we're talking about. This is the reading. I wish as well sometimes that everyone could do what I'm doing here, because it's just so damn magical when this shit happens. I guess you could argue with tarot as well. Like if you've ever done tarot and shuffled tarot and then felt the vibe of the reading and those cards come out, really, you can't really explain that to people. You have to do it to know what that feeling is like. So I guess my tarot readers are going to understand exactly what I'm talking about here. You can't really express that, can you? Because it's I guess they call it like a phenomena. It's like you do know where it's coming from. It's God's work. But like trying to explain that to people sometimes is just a lost cause. And that's what just happened here as well. Pile number 2's is, I was just having that talk. And when I first started this channel, I used to think some of these rambles were just rambles, and realised pretty early on that no, these were parts of the message. So I'm just talking away there. And then the conversation led me to judgment. I'm gonna pop these hips or whatever they are a little bit more. She's a little bit out of proportion, this figure, but I'm falling. I'm falling for this one, part 2's. She's a little bit out of proportion, but that I'm feeling that little bit of irregularity. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is. Crushing on my own drawings. Parties, bear with me. Okay, so the wisdom is like, so what do you see? What do you feel? As always, pile number twos. One of the takeaways, though, I got from that introduction was there's the wisdom in that, well, in that moment of it's like alignment. Okay, so this character here, um, is holding there. To me, these are like flaming balls. Now, don't get too scared. Like, we're not talking anything demonic here. This character most definitely isn't. Um, isn't something from hell. Sorry, I'm just getting we're getting more information here on the character. I don't know why. I'm seeing like a corset. I'm seeing like metal corset here. I'm not going to draw it, but I was seeing that. And that's around what I want you to focus on, pile number twos. That's around this area. So what would you say is, it's not actually the root. We're talking womb and solar plexus chakras, not quite the heart. Those two chakras are getting like triggered as I'm looking at it. Anyways, back to so the wisdom, pile number twos to take away, is spirit wants you to focus on almost those like eureka moments where things click. I'm getting the message that spirit knows that you know what I'm talking about, and what kind of your guides or what spirit is kind of passing on to you is, you know what I'm talking about, and you know that when that shit happens, or when that happens, it is out of your control. So just surrender to that. As you just kind of witnessed, I did not just pre-script my ramble and end up talking about judgment and da 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 da. You can think that if you want, but trust me, I ain't got time for that. You have gone through your own version of that, pile twos, and spirit is really just kind of putting focus on the fact that when that happens, really, like I said, it's out of your control. So just let go, let be to that, because it's going to happen when it happens. So that's probably wisdom that you already know, but kind of maybe it's getting shone today in this reading. I'm just going to reel off some details now, which are for you to observe and take away and interpret in the way that you want to. And they're just basically descriptive words. So for some of you watching this, you may relate to this character. It may even look a little bit like you in some way. But for the majority of people watching this, you may not relate to this at all. You may not even be the same gender as this figure. So what I'm going to do is reel off some character traits that you're able to relate to without seeing yourself in what you're visually seeing, okay? So in the hands, we have a blue and a red flame, and it reminds me a little bit of the Matrix, but these are flames. So maybe there's some form of decision making that you're going to have to make. coming up. I'm also getting with this character, like, the hair, like, it's the perfect example of, like, that silky smooth hair. It's almost like someone's ironed that shit, like just almost artificial. It's that straight. So obviously you may be watching this thinking, I don't have straight hair, but listen to the vibration of what I'm talking about, and you might find yourself closer to the point. Silk, for example, you might not relate to the hair, but silk, you might relate to the fact that I almost feel like this hair is silky smooth in the sense that it's been prepared, you know? Like, this character hasn't just woken up like that. It's been cared for, it's been straightened or something, or it's been nurtured. Is there something that you're preparing for? It's almost like, let's say if this was a ritual, this is like a once in a year ritual. It's a special moment, Like I said, I think this drawing is somewhat like top heavy. So think about that. Think about if there's any nuggets in there for you or alignments. You may even be a bit top heavy, like when you exercise, or even just top heavy, like if you're a feminine. Like, again, I don't want to put my foot in anything, but you might just have a big set of eyes. And I guess that final one about possibly your chakras, armor on those areas, which says to me almost protect them. So your womb and your solar plexus, protect them. That's for my masculines out there too. That womb area, and I don't know what it's called for the men, because I sure don't have a womb there, but we should have another name for that, guys. All my men who are watching this. What's our word for that? Ain't got a damn word for that. There's our intestines around there. Doesn't have the same ring as womb, does it? Don't know, what would you call that? It's playing with me now. But yeah, there was armor in there. So is that because this area to you is very important, or is it because it's vulnerable or even weak, so it needs protecting? Is it sacred? Is it private? Have a little explore. All of these things really, I know there's someone out there maybe thinking, man, there's a lot of overthinking to do. But I just wanted to, like a little bit of wisdom just from me here, pile number 2s, to take away, is that sometimes that what people may see as overthinking is actually a beautiful key to self-awareness and self-love. Depending on what your personality is like, evaluating yourself and thinking about yourself, understanding yourself, it's one of the purest ways to give yourself self-love. A lot of people spend their lives understanding other people. Understand thyself, oneself. It's like one of the biggest gems of self-love that people miss. People are quick to talk about overthinking, or possibly you're going too deep with that. Have I heard that in my time? Man, you're going too deep. I'd be looking at a person like, you ain't going deep enough. You in the kids' pool. You gonna be screaming like a bitch in the ocean. Me too, by the way, in the ocean. Fuck that. Part 2, so that's your reading. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Part number 3 is, I hope you're good, part 3s. Got some wisdom for you today. A very different, I feel like a style. A very different energy. There's a lot of like Asian energy coming through. In the other readings. This one almost feels like it's confusing because obviously a spear is kind of an ancient weapon. weapon. But the energy is coming through, see, it feels very almost futuristic to me. Modern, like modern is the word, modern. And there's something, just to open you up to the channel, Palfreys, there's something going on with the head area a lot. think that's the only way I can express that right now. Check that we're still in the screen, which we're not. I think we're kind of done there though. I feel like part number 3 is the clue that I got from that introduction was there something going on here with marrying the two of ancient knowledge and modern thinking. Almost like ancient tools and modern thinking. I feel like that's your wisdom. Now, just like a little bit of, it's not even really wisdom, it's more like knowledge, something to think about. I feel like part number 3 is there's definitely something coming through here where someone that you're connecting with, or possibly I'd advise you to connect with, is someone like of the future. Someone of the future. And sometimes that's not even like, let's say, extraterrestrial ETs, but maybe that's like, imagine someone who's close to you right now in this 3D reality. What would their higher self say to you? What would their higher self give you advice on, give you wisdom on? Someone who's close to you right now. Let's say, 200 years from now, they've passed on, but they're with you in spirit. What would they say to you? Quite honestly, though, I'm getting way more than 200 years. This energy feels like 1,000 years ahead. It's very interesting, or to be honest, quite strange that it's this masculine with a spear, though. It's almost giving me the energy here of like your past ancestors speaking with your future ancestors. Think about that. If that don't rack some brain cells in you, I don't know what will. What would your ancient ancestors say, or how would they communicate with your future ancestors? Jeez. Also, part number 3, so I think that's the wisdom kind of out of the way. The wisdom there being, how do you connect ancient knowledge with modern tools, or ancient tools with modern knowledge? That's just something to sit on. And then I'm going to kind of almost edge towards ending this reading on giving you some description on what's going on here, so you can take that away for yourself, come up with your own ideas, theories, see how this relates to you. So the first one that I've got to point out is that this is the only masculine figure that I drew today. So I think there's something in that. We may be talking about your masculine energy, or this may just be one of the readings that my dudes who watch this are tuning into. Like I said earlier, there's a lot going on with the head. That could just be like telepathy, or opening your mind type energy. It does remind me a little bit also of like, I don't know why, like John the Baptist is coming through, or You know, in those old churches where they have like the halos or the discs behind certain saints, it's giving me that vibe. I think there's definitely something to do with like the weapon of the spear. Maybe you're kind of getting like anointed, pole number threes. This could be some kind of like anointment, anointing, that's the word. Being gifted this spear. Kind of connects to pole number ones a little bit. Different weapon, but connection there. Well, I'll probably just say that to end, this character, to me, seems somewhat ready. This character is ready. They're good to go. Spear in hand. Like, what's the task? So, pole number threes. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com. I was just going to say, actually, before I ended, the character has a beard, and beards often symbolize wisdom, I think. So that's probably another point there for you. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Pile threes, take care.